What's happening, people? Back with another reaction, back with some more Celtic Woman, and we're continuing through the 2004 self-titled album, and I noticed they have quite a few Christmas albums, so I'm hoping to get one in my collection as we get closer to the holiday period, because I'm going to be doing lots of holiday reactions like I've done the last 3 years, and I'd like them to be part of it, because again, it seems like that is a notable part of their output, that they've done more than one Christmas album over the years. Nevertheless, for the current purposes, the next tune in the playlist is, and I'm not sure how to pronounce the first word, Orinoco Flow, or maybe Orinoco Flow. So yes, I'm not familiar with that first word, so I have no context there. Flow, of course, gives you a sense of motion, fluid motion, and of course that can be itself a figurative expression or a metaphor. Of course it could be literal, it could function on multiple levels, but without any insight on the first word, I feel like this title is a bit opaque for me. I'll try to catch what I can, and of course some of it might be in Gaelic, so I don't know if I'll be able to discern on a first listen even more than when I normally say that what is happening lyrically, but nevertheless, let's enjoy the vocals and the sonics at the very least. This is Celtic Woman from their 2004 self-titled album, and the song is Orinoco Flow, Orinoco Flow. I'm not quite sure how to say, as I said, the first word. I knew this, I heard this. First of all, it's just a masterpiece, both sonically, of course, vocally, and also lyrically. Now, again, it's come to my understanding after going through like half of this album that a lot of their work is based on, traditional folk songs, or taken from different places, so they're putting their spin on some pre-existing material. So I don't know if that's the case here, but it's hilarious. Okay, so the song starts, and I'm already like, with that rhythm, that percussive rhythm, I'm like, man, it reminds me of that song. What is it? It's like Sail Away, Sail Away. I wonder who that's by, but it kind of gives me a little bit of those vibes. And then the lyrics start, and they're talking about sailing to the shore here, and I do love, Tripoli, Khartoum, but also, sort of ancient and or mythological places, Avalon, and also talking, Babylon, and all sorts of references in the north, in the south, all around. I think even like the island of the moon was maybe said. But yes, the idea of sailing to all these distant shores, to lands she's never seen, to places, marvelous and spectacular. So, like, I just love the geographical and historical and mythological, maybe even the celestial references along the way. But again, so like, I'm thinking like, man, it really reminds me of that tune. I wonder who that tune's by. And then sure enough, it just goes right into that refrain. It's like, oh my god, it is that tune. It's not just, reminding me of that tune. It is actually that tune. So I don't know where I heard that. I feel like maybe that's a tune that was used in like, a commercial, or at the very least, made it into like popular radio play, even though like, I consider Celtic Woman, or I'm guessing that they're, a bit more like niche, like classical circles, folk music circles. Now, I guess maybe they brought that into the popular domain and, became a bit of a popular sensation, even if, like, stylistically, they're off the beaten path compared to what we normally call popular music. So again, maybe I just heard it on the radio, but I really have this sense that, it was somewhere specific, and I must have heard it multiple times, because I remembered specifically the phrase, sail away, sail away. So yeah, just a marvelous tune in terms of the arrangement, the orchestration. Again, we've got beautiful strings, we've got regal brass flourishes, I think there was a flute in there, I like suddenly the rests, and then we bring in that middle interlude, which I didn't see coming. Again, I thought it was going to go right back into the sail away refrain, but then suddenly it empties out, it gets very soft and ambient, and those Ulian, I'm always unsure how to pronounce that, but I believe those were the Irish pipes, the Ulian pipes. They didn't sound like the big, sort of like massive bagpipes, which have a bit more of that like wind sound. But yes, just beautiful, elegant pipes. I mean, I've mentioned it before, like, I enjoy Celtic music in general, and I'm especially fond of pipes, which I know for some people, even people who, come from Celtic nationalities and cultures, that, it's a bit hit or miss. Some people aren't big into pipes, but I'm a sucker for them, so that section was extra special, and then it came back to the energy. And I don't know if it's like xylophone, but the strings in conjunction with that percussive rhythm, it really gives me this vibe of being on a ship with the open sea in front of us, and maybe a distant shore way off on the horizon. So like, even the sonic character feels like what they're expressing vocally and lyrically. So yes, a masterful tune, and I heard the first word, Orinoco, like, so, I feel like that's the correct pronunciation, but I still don't know where that is. I'm guessing it is a geographical reference like all the others, but I was not familiar with that. Either way, a beautiful tune, a masterful tune. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you for the next one. Peace.